Hello and welcome back to Blood on the Bayou Circuit series here at the Adventure Begins in Houston, Texas. We are going into round 6, again with Charles on Victor versus Rodrigo on Zen. Going to be another aggro versus the Horseman matchup going on for round 6. But what do you think
including
going into this,
an
John?
including another LL hero in the Zen this time. Um, Zen maybe before being a much more combo oriented hero. Now these Zens are actually using. Oh, there you are in the background, Justin. Um, Now these uh, Zens are also including more defensive options in the wax ons. Um, but I mean, this is still going to be tried, at least for Charles, trying to disrupt Zen so that he doesn't have the full hand to kind of explode.
Yeah, I believe both heroes kind of looking to block quite a little bit and get just good value lines. Uh, Zen trying to block with a lot of defense reactions and his good blocking cards to really pick his point to try to explode. While Victor trying to not let him do that.
Has the things like the spinal crushes, even the debilitates and crush the weaks in order to kind of do as much damage, break through some damage, and disrupt the Zen's game plan. Rodrigo and even you just having a good bit of fun.
And I believe I heard Rodrigo say he will be taking second in this matchup. Zen definitely wanting to be the aggressor and especially not wanting to let Charles take away cards starting out the game.
Yeah, we need to know
Making
your
sure they
help so
understand.
that
Making sure they understand how everything's gonna go.
that's
Uh,
Rodrigo and Charles very familiar with the stream table. Are generally pretty high up in these events. I'm kind of wondering why Rodrigo doesn't know about the stream life setup.
it's around 6. It's been a long day for these players.
Yeah.
Not too many not too many events in general at the pro quest level are hitting round 6. They're still
How
here
many?
trying to put on a show for us.
Yeah. Thank you to both of these players after the fact. How many people did were at the Adventure Begins for this Blood on the Bayou Circuit event, Justin?
If I recall correctly, we had 43 show out for this event.
Really impressive turnout for some of these pro quests. Got a lot of out of towners.
Doesn't hurt having the our circuit series prizing. These players trying to play for their share of $500 split amongst the top 8, as well as points towards our whole circuit series. Where at the end of our last circuit event on May 17th, the top 8 players will have free entry to Battle Hard in Houston at the end of June. The World Tour finally coming to our home turf, as
Really
well
excited.
as the top 16 point earners at the end of the Battle Hard and worth double the points of these other circuit events, actually getting their share of a $2,000 prize pool.
Love all of the support that these stores like The Adventure Begins and LSS have given to us here in Houston as we get started on round 6. Miller's
Charles just
Grindstone.
taking the opportunity again with the grindstone, trying to just take away a few cards, leave the fatigue option open at the end of the game if he needs it. Never Victor's number one game plan, but always a game plan he has available. Fatiguing through damage, just cards demanding more and more cards.
Charles with I think, gauntlets instead of. I mean, we saw Null Rune in his last matchup against Aurora. Obviously, not as necessary here. Disruptive card, Command and Conquer. Even Zens are using it.
Yeah, just shows how Zen is also just very mid-rangey at this
Yeah.
state. Trying to send just good value hands. And
Charles
after losing the first clash, having to actually reclash, but revealing the thunk, creating a might, uh, or I believe a vigor. No, a might. Okay, but having to burn that very first gold leaves him a little more on the back foot than he otherwise would be.
wasn't able to visit Daddy as in his first turn, unlike his last round. Rodrigo, a lot of attacking cards here. 100 wins. Oh, Spinal Crush.
Ooh, yeah, and for a breakpoint of 11 is actually really rough. Having to block 8 if he wants to keep the go again.
And definitely has two blocks in his hand in the form of the 100 wins. Ancestral
Biting
Harmony.
breeze as well.
So is going to get, oh, there it is, Flick Flack.
A full 10 coming out, but not leaving Rodrigo with that much gas to work with.
Like you were saying, Zen's become a lot more mid-rangey, packing the defense reactions, willing to just send this Tiger taming Kakara and then set up for another turn.
Holding on to the biting breeze for a future turn. But that's leaving Charles with the full 5 cards to visit Daddy for money.
There it
It is
is.
going to create a second gold, also counting the shield, triggers the 3 mites you would get from it.
We have seen Charles kind of miss on kind of critical turns in terms of having the disruptive effect. So maybe something that Rodrigo's hoping for. Mm. Doesn't see it this turn, though. Not as
But
lucky.
a CNC with that many cards, there has
Yeah.
to be one thing on his mind. That is a pummel.
CNC Pummel. One of the most disruptive things that you could do in this game. There
Very,
it
very
is.
backbreaking, and yeah, there it is. Not only the 2 cards to try to block the CNC, 2 more cards and losing the arsenal and
Ro-
discarding to pummel.
Rodrigo only able to keep this. I
Levels
forgot
of
what the
enlightenment
levels of
heading to the
enlightenment. Yes,
arsenal.
he had two, both extended art, but keeps one. Here we go. Might into Spinal Crush.
Yeah, the 3 mites from the Goldmane estate last turn. Spinal Crush for 12. Again, actually a bit more of a simple breakpoint on it, being able to
Can
block
give it three
9,
cards. Yeah.
but it's still like still keeping Rodrigo from accomplishing anything. Oh, and it's actually only 8 value of block in his hand. And it looks like the last card was a Chi.
Yeah, one of the chi generators.
Rising Sun, Setting Moon, left in hand.
Can use it to fire off the Tiger Taming Kakara.
After seeing the extended art levels, of course, we see the Marvel Rising Sun, Setting Moon. Charles blocking, just trying to utilize all the cards in his hand.
Another CNC.
Actually, pitching 2 reds. No, that is under pitching for the
Wants to
CNC.
wants to use his entire hand. Is Rodrigo again thinking about this pummel with the Tudyk available?
surely he doesn't have the second pummel to go along with the second CNC. And
Dodged a
he is
bullet.
safe this time.
Dodged a bullet there, Rodrigo. Here we go.
So now we finally get to see what
The
Zed
first
is really
enlightenment.
trying to do.
Yeah, just the first inner chi generated.
Making sure he's taking the time to do everything very cleanly. Levels of enlightenment, respond to it with that homage to ancestors to flip to a chi, generating his resource off of the 12 petal Kasaya, and looking for that mauling key from deck to go very very telegraphed at this point. Kakara into Tiger into mauling key, but that's oh, and the go again, draw a card from the levels of enlightenment. Even though he was looking very shaky lately, this is what Zen's trying to do. Look for these opportunities to get very efficient hands, because this levels of enlightenment, drawing a card, basically refunding itself, flipping the chi, Kakura Tiger, Mauling Key, representing a what 2-3 card 11 with a lot of sketchy breakpoints.
Again, Zen now more of this kind of blocking deck, able to do a lot with very little, with much smaller hands. And Charles blocking now, but obviously generating value on these blocks. Exactly what he wants to be doing is Victor.
Yeah, if you count, he started the turn with 3 cards, ending on an arsenal. Only 2 card 11 effectively. The zealous belting coming down for Charles. Still unsure what that arsenal is. And a crush the weak. Very happily taking the vanilla damage from the zealous belting, but crush the weak is something he has to respect. Preventing him from a crush effect, preventing him from playing any attacks with base cost, base power 3 or less.
Much of his
You know,
deck.
only about half.
Zen, not a rune blade doesn't have, not a lightning rune blade doesn't have access to the 0 for 4s that everyone wants.
Even that we can see in his hand, I believe the Stir the Pot Marble, as well as Censor, just a very sensible 2 card 7.
Justin, what are your thoughts about Zen still making it to LL after all of the huge nerfs? I mean, is this just this hero being very powerful, or did he just kind of rack up too many points too early based on his original, his strongest form?
The kind of sprint he made with early LL
The
points
bonds,
definitely set him very far ahead. The Art of War, Bonds of Ancestry, very very aggressive early builds. Yeah, set him very far ahead. But the more recent builds of Zen being honestly very fair and just very solid. Just a good value deck, finding his place to find powerful turns, but on overall very just fair. He was very sturdy, very even. Honestly, one of the best heroes to play overall, and now just gone because of the crimes he committed early on.
he could never get away from his earlier crimes, I guess. But I absolutely, totally agree. I mean, I think a hero like Zen, as he is now, is actually really interesting. One of the decks that people really tried to make work early were the kind of turtle Katsu builds, the kind of more mid-rangey game plans, and Zen kind of being able to do that because of his ability to eke out a lot of value with his ability.
And then everything just turning into the Bonds of Ancestry lottery.
Ugh.
But it looks like after a blue 100 wins from Arsenal, flipping that Stir the Pot and getting the resource off the Kasaya. Now just coming in for some cheap little attacks with the Pouncing Key and Sensor.
Sensor, what do you think he names here?
Probably Goldmane Estate. It's really hard to predict what kind of attack he's sending back unless he just like blocks one card, just 2-card hand. You could probably guess CNC or something like that. But here he gives up the first block on the gauntlets to block out that Sensor. Not wanting to run the risk of naming the right card. Once again, that Zealous Belting coming out.
Charles kind of posturing that he wants to play this other card. I don't know. Maybe trying to psych him out. Pummel from Arsenal.
2 coming over from the Zealous. And now just the Hammer.
Just the Hammer. Rodrigo already blocked with the Winds of Eternity on the first one. Has E-Strike, Cosmic Awakening, and a cheat
Rodrigo
card.
contemplating the odds of what could be hit on top, and it's actually a 5 power, one of the better things. I believe that was another Zealous Belting on top for Charles, just tying the Grindstone.
E-Strike, bottoming. Probably just a 7 here, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had to double check the wording on Miller's Grindstone. It is only if the opponent wins you get the -1 counter on it.
Yeah. So
But
it was a
since
tie.
they tied,
Nothing happened. Yeah. E-Strike for 7. Putting this chi generator in the arsenal for later use, where it's kind of readily available to flip up into something that you really want using Zen's ability.
Zen being able to tutor any card that fits the situation, definitely leading to what made him so strong and so solid and versatile. But then sometimes you just have these turns that are E-Strike for 7. But then Victor has the turns that are, oh, I guess I'm blocking this E-Strike for 7 for 6. Coming back with his own E-Strike for 7. Looks like 2 Flick Flacks in hand. Just gonna go ahead and put those down.
Not exactly what you want to see together, but it will work.
Believe that is 2 Chi for Rodrigo. Gonna be getting the 2 resources and a Tiger.
Never want to see pummels again.
Just not really running any graveyard recursion. Maybe a remembrance in this matchup, but not something you want to try to out predict. So just going for the funny banish your pummel. Now choosing what he wants to return to his deck looks like the Chase the Tail.
Chase the Tail, great card if he can get multiple Crouching Tigers into his hand.
With the Chi, I could, in the Mauling Key in hand, he's probably going to be looking for some sort of Go Again combo here.
Because he's got an ender
Maybe
in the Mauling Key.
can even get an intermediate, like a
even just 100
aspect
wins.
of body.
Yeah, something like that.
100 wins probably the grab here. Just some sort of extender. Just the problem not being able to pitch that key, or the last chi, which will actually probably be pitched to the mauling chi.
Really trying to think of how this turn looks. This
One
tutor
card
effect a lot harder now that Bonds of Ancestry is not just the immediate grab.
One card I did see out of his deck was the Key Unleashed, which could be an efficient way to use all of the resources available to him. It looks like he's going for that Tiger Swipe and just expecting Charles to, or trying to make Charles block out the Tiger Swipe to not get extra value. Kakura using the floating resources from the 12 Petal Kasaya. Charles just trying to remember what he can expect from the opponent, especially given the banish that was chosen. Very quick to take the Kakura and Tiger, but now we get the Tiger Swipe for 5.
Charles immediately taking it.
Without any of the Tiger anthems that we would see, like Roar of the Tiger or Art of War, just very unafraid of the Tiger Swipe on hit effect of generating an extra Tiger, but with the Mauling Key to follow it up, probably wishing he had blocked it out.
Yeah, a little punished for allowing Rodrigo to get that extra Crouching Tiger.
Probably one of the very few punishes he had available to him. Now, considering the blocks on this,
Charles now at the life deficit, but has kept 4 cards in hand.
probably one of the better turns to have activated the quick dodge flexors. Something in a previous round we never saw was, or no, we did see it at one point.
He used quick dodge flexors. I don't think really used it multiple times in the combat chain, but he did use it. Yeah, a lot of opportunity here to block for small bits of damage here. Would have gotten the full 6 value off the 1 blue.
I was learning to play Victor and kind of dust off myself. Quick dodge flexors is not actually the easiest card to use for something like a Guardian, where you're not going to be spending, well, I say Guardian for Victor, where you're not really going to be spending resources defensively that much, making it much more difficult to use the flexors in just random spots, and you really have to decide when you want to commit the whole card to it, or if you just want to use a tunic resource.
Once again, main estate.
Visiting Daddy for money. Playing out a Crush the Weak, keeping an extra card in hand. With now 4 gold plus a shield, creating 5 mites.
Crush the Weak. Oh, 1 card arsenal, 1 card in hand. Rodrigo probably thinking about Pummel here. Has seen the 1 that he banished.
I did manage to take a peek at what he drew off the top, and using the tunic resource here because he wants to keep that test of strength around. So very much bluffing this Pummel, just having a block card in hand that he wants to keep. Another one of those very important block cards that allow him to just spike the value and start to overrun the opponent. Trying to decide how he wants to block. It looks like a chi in hand and A good selection of 3 blocks. But definitely taking the time to think about that pummel.
If you get pummeled once in a game, you always have to think about it for the rest of the game, even if the player is not running more than one pummel. Charles, we know that Charles is running three, but sometimes you can get away with just the one sneaky pummel.
And even earlier Victor builds that were more focused on tectonic plating, only running at most 2. Looks like he's lining up 6 block, just keeping the Tiger Form Incantation and a Chi, but I don't think there's any comfortable configuration from this hand.
What are the chances?
Calling out the pummel.
It has been a couple, several rounds. I mean, that CNC pummel turn was one of the first in the game, and Rodrigo knows he has to. It's coming up.
Charles trying to hold his composure and not leak the fact that it is not a pummel, at least not one coming out this turn.
Rodrigo really in the tank on this turn. Double checking to see how much damage he actually has to block. It
really
isn't
taking the
great for
time,
him.
making sure he takes the time to get it right, because these players, after all of the circuit points they can to get after their share of the prize money.
He really wants to at least make top 8 here. Blocking 6, taking 1. Dodge the pummel. Has a 2-card hand. Grains the tip the scale, I believe.
Yes, it is the
It's the
cheat card
+1.
to give just +1.
Yeah. 6.
That is a CNC on top for Charles.
Exactly what you
Generating the
want to
gold.
see. Exactly what you want to see with this 5 additional might. There it is.
CNC is good, but what about CNC for 11? With all of the most threatening cards in hand.
Yeah. Rodrigo still has to think about this pummel that could be sitting in Arsenal. Unfortunately, Rodrigo really can't do anything about the CNC. It is coming in for just too much damage.
There's no way to block it out without giving up the entirety of his hand.
And I mean, he has a non-block in this hand. Would have to
Yeah.
commit armor here. Tiger Stripe Shuko or the Traverse.
Yeah, I believe at least the Shuko, the Pause, and every card that can block in his hand.
Rodrigo might not actually be worried about the CNC. I believe it is that grains the tip the scale. Could target the attack on. There it is.
It is the pummel.
He had it.
So blocking 5 on this 15. But he does have the Chi in arsenal and Chi in hand to avoid the arsenal destruction. Making sure he's layering things correctly. You always want the rising sun, setting moon, giving you the option to sync that Chi. Have the most options available to you.
He is syncing the Chi.
Now deciding what card he wants to give up. The 100 wins go into the discard. No?
No, I think he still needs to discard something for this Oh, he did?
Well, I believe it was played correctly, but
Okay.
we can only trust our players.
Yeah. I mean, Charles has played this enough to know the pummel effects.
Now, not even sure. Oh, the biting breeze and oh, oh, okay. Biting breeze generating a tiger and vanish, as well as Zen generating another tiger. Not not any way to really buff it, but he is getting I can only remember the meme name. Okay, gust wave of the second wind coming out.
That's a real card?
That is a real card that I believe he is just running for,
The
just
block
being a
3
zero
value?
for 4.
Yeah.
It is a 0 for 4 that he can search as a chain ender with no condition, no pitch.
Very interesting. I mean, why not just a Mauling Chi in this case? Has he used
Uh,
them all already?
Not having a card he wants to pitch to it,
Oh, yes, of
or a
course.
card he's able to pitch to it. It would have been that Tiger Swipe, but much more value this way. Having failed on the trounce earlier, not able to reclash on this test of strength.
Rodrigo. I thought monks and the like kind of disavow worldly possessions like gold, but here Zen making some bank off the clash.
I'm sure you're going to get rid of it as soon as he can, trying to convert something like a chi or any other like low value blue in his hand to a different card. +1 resource. But now the might and the vigor popping from that trounce, just going to use it to draw the Goldmane estate that he had seen on top. Now generating another gold to recover from the
Six
one he just spent, as well as these 6 mites.
back to back to back might turns for Charles.
Zen
Really
wanting to
seeing
find those high value turns and pick his spot, while Victor is just going to make those high value turns. Cracking,
cracking
just going
multiple
gambling,
goes.
just pulling at that slot machine.
I think this was maybe the second or the last visit the Goldmane estate. Maybe thinking, I don't really need this money anymore.
Not Probably not
Charles.
even enough time left in the game to
Yeah,
rely on drawing that third one.
yeah. He said it himself. Where are my go again cards?
5 cards in
But,
hand,
yeah,
4 gold cracked, and he's going again.
he
But
found
it
an
looks
enlightened
like he
strike.
found an enlightened strike.
Six go again. Most of Rodrigo's health.
The most
Rodrigo
expensive 6 go again you've ever seen.
5 gold spent or 4 gold spent, and Rodrigo taking it all. Oh, couldn't use the golden sun.
Now blocking 7 on that 8.
The entire
No,
fridge. This is Rodrigo's last turn.
really
So
trying to make it
really,
count.
really wants to make it count with a inner chi from the Traverse the Universe.
Also having the pouncing paws ability active to get an extra tiger on demand. Uh, very on the surface able to use something like a
Chase.
chase the tail,
Yeah.
which we do see in his hand.
And another energy.
Ooh,
A lot of resources on this turn. And a gold to spend it on.
I think a line I really love to see here is, yeah, the tiger to start out with the chase the tail, but searching for something like the aspect of body, I believe. Yeah, aspect of tiger body, be able to generate another tiger to be able to use with the. Oh, I thought it was the second chase the tail in hand, but that is a command and conquer.
Has the resources. 0. Gonna crack. Doesn't want to see that pummel.
Very easy to correct. Winning the trounce, setting a seventh might as well as a vigor, and winning with a thunk for an eighth might.
Charles really.
Rodrigo, in doubt of what's going on, the text on trounce just keeps going.
Yes. If Charles is able to send this next attack for +8, I mean, really gonna probably kill Rodrigo next turn, unless Rodrigo can win right here.
Already giving the quick dodge flexors, deciding if anything's going to be the turn, it's right now. He can give every card in his hand and just come back with a hammer for a clean 12. And odds are he's not going to be able to block it all out.
So Charles,
Finding
many cards to work with here.
finding a trounce on this key turn is just very unfortunate for Rodrigo, making it that much harder to try to get over.
Crouching Tiger with the Chase the Tail buff. No blocks. Moving it, taking one. Another Chase the Tail.
Yep, the double chase the tail turn. Now, the last card in hand coming down. Oh, actually, going to be siding between the Kakra and the Sink Below, or the
The Command and
CNC.
Conquer? Yeah. Because otherwise it is 100 wins and Arsenal to CNC. But I mean,
Really,
he knows
really
he really
stressing,
has. Yeah.
stressing over that missed opportunity, missing the one damage from the Kakra on one of the Tigers.
Yeah. Can't use his quick dodge flexors on this one. 3 cards in hand, one of them an Enlightened Strike, it appears.
Actually, very, what might not be easy to assume, you are actually able to flexors on the Command and Conquer because defense reactions can't be played this chain link.
They can still be used. Wow. Did not know that. Good to know.
Quick dodge flexors in insane defensive card coming out of the hunted. And now, with those 8 mites popping, that is an E strike for 15.
Looks like that's all it took. Yeah, E strike for 15. Rodrigo, 4 cards that at max block for 12 probably is gonna die
not
there.
not very likely to block that out.
Yeah. Um, Another good game from Charles. Um, I believe, I mean, locks him in for top eight, right?
This was a 4-1 matchup, so both of these players actually locked for top eight.
Okay.
Uh, and I can't wait to see more explosiveness coming out of Zen and the absolute grind fest that is Victor. But that will be it for round 6 for Blood on the Bayou Circuit Series, and we will see you starting the top 8.
Thanks.